Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to... Sorry, I'm laughing. Bro, we made it on time.
Perfect time, right, 2 o'clock, right on the dot.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Heavily Contested Podcast. The podcast where... we're bringing in props now. Here we go. Listen.
How do I say goodbye to what we had? My team sucks, Dro.
Oh, Travis,
They suck, man. You know what? But Joe wasn't correct. You know?
What do you mean?
You know how you said we fold mid-season?
Oh, yeah.
But this season, we're going to end the season strong. Okay?
Are you? You're still confident?
I'm still confident in my squad. I love my squad wherever I go.
All right. Well, just so you know now, the Raiders, Travis, who has been talking to Lost Mac, if you've been keeping up with us, about the Raiders and the Niners, just like the other few years now, the Raiders are now tied with the Niners in record, despite the Niners having, in some terms, a bad season. And look at where we are. Season. So then that means you guys are too.
We're having a great season.
You know what that means? It just shows the standard of levels. Our franchise, 5-time Super Bowl winners, we hold ourselves to a higher standard, which is why the Raiders haven't won a playoff game since
in a long time.
In a long time.
In the 90s, probably.
Early
2000s.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a rough couple of weeks. But maybe we have some better days to come.
I guess we'll find out now in this episode.
Definitely going to church on Sunday. Pray to God.
So, to start off with, we're gonna go over Week 11, which was eventful. I think one of the more eventful weeks in football.
It was top 5, man.
Top 5, definitely. It starts off with the Colts and the Bills.
Now, I gotta start this off.
You want to start it off? Go ahead.
Y'all, you know that the City Girls. You know the City Girls, right?
You gotta
they
elaborate.
make a lot of songs. You know the music, the act up, you can get smashed up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I don't know the name of the.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So they got this song. It says, "All these people want to mess with JT. They do."
Oh yeah.
And JT. So JT, Jonathan Taylor. I'm just gonna say this: a lot of people want to mess with JT.
And if you act up,
you're gonna get smashed up because JT is the best running back in the league right now. He is, because Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry are not playing.
Okay, well then...
Christian McCaffrey's kind of injured.
Okay. So then I want... Actually, I do think Jonathan Taylor
He's had the best season, but is he the best running back in the league?
Okay, so I've had Jonathan Taylor pushing my top 5 since last year because I knew he looked really good as a rookie running back. But I don't even think I'm ready to say he's better than Nick Chubb, at least. And a couple of other guys.
Well, Nick Chubb's been injured as well this season.
Okay.
So Jonathan Taylor has had the best season.
Then I can agree with that completely. Yeah. Health-wise, he's been there consistently. Okay.
Yeah,
definitely. Okay.
Jonathan Taylor, he's been carrying this Colts offense. I mean, if we're being honest, if Jonathan Taylor's not playing, is Carson Wentz going to carry the squad?
No, definitely not. They're not going to be as good as they are. It's much more balanced when you have Taylor.
Yeah. And Michael Pittman, I've been sleeping on him, but he's been consistently getting better and better every game that I've seen. But
well, they thrive off the play action, which is started by
I think Taylor. That starts all with Jonathan Taylor, and he's the main story. He's looking like Alvin Kamara last year.
32 carries, 185 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown as well. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that for Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
And the Colts beat them 41-15 in Buffalo. Now, I know you're probably going to have to say some stuff about Buffalo. I know you have some stuff on your mind. I just want to say right now, though, to the Colts' credit, this is a team that started 0-3, a team that I never gave up on because I knew that they were too talented and too good of a roster to have the record that they were having at 0-3. And they played their best opponents early on. And now here we are.
I thought this was going to be their best opponent.
Here we are. Colts catching rhythm a little bit now. They have an above 500 record at 6-5 now.
That's crazy.
They have completely bounced back. They have completely bounced back. But not only that, they just beat a considered top team in the AFC.
Now,
but to that point, let's see what you think.
So, since the beginning, I've been saying that Josh Allen has not been the same as he was last year. It's not the same thing we feeding Stephon Diggs.
No.
He was giving it to Dawson Knox. They don't have running backs that can consistently carry this offense. Their offensive line. Who?
Yeah, pretty suspect.
Yeah, so Josh Allen, obviously, he needs to step it up a little more. Stephon Diggs has been real quiet this year.
Yes.
He in the back of the class right now. He's not even raising his hand to try to answer a question.
Yeah, no participation points.
No, he gets no participation. Obviously, he's still going to get the ball here and there, but he hasn't been loud. And I think that's a big factor because the Bills don't have any other stars besides him. Cole Beasley, yes, he's cool. He's cute. But
yeah.
Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders was on the Niners last year or 2 years ago.
2 years ago. It's just not Emmanuel Sanders of the Denver days, I guess, is what you would say.
There's nobody to really help out Stephon Diggs.
And don't even get me started on the run game.
Don't have one.
Yeah. It's, Matt Breida here and there. Matt Breida will have his carries. I don't see a true number one back.
No.
Like, they have a distribution of three with Zach Moss and Devin Singletary and Matt Breida. But they all kind of bring the same thing. It's not like they're all different.
No.
Like, just to compare it to a run game that was the Niners run game in 2019. We had three backs. Raheem Mostert, Matt Breida as well. And we had Tevin Coleman. They all kind of brought a different element to the game, which made it a good little three-headed back. But then even then, we had one back who finally decided to just start playing at a higher level, which was Mostert. And just take that number one running back spot. I haven't seen it from any one of these backs where they feel like, he's running away with that starting spot. Yeah. And taking the most carries. So they don't have an identity.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I think a big thing with the Bills is they've never had run defense. They don't have a great defensive lineman. They don't have a great linebacker. They just have amazing DBs. Yeah. So that's why
their passing defense is always up there.
That's why you see Jonathan Taylor just cooking them up. And they struggled.
They struggled.
Yeah,
mightily.
They were just. It was a rough day for the Bills.
Yes, it was a rough one. This isn't a contender. This Bills team is not a contender.
Oh, for the Super Bowl.
No, I don't see it. I don't see it.
I thought you were going to say playoffs. I think they can make the playoffs.
Of course they can make the playoffs. But this is the thing. The Bills won't win this division.
No.
With the way the Patriots are playing right now, red hot, they're not better than the Patriots. They're not better than the Chiefs now. Had they run into the Chiefs this point in the season, they wouldn't win. This isn't a standout team to me. It's not. They got great pieces and all, but they're getting out-coached. They don't seem to have a true offensive game plan. They've been getting shut down a lot of times. Yeah. Allen's had rough spurts compared to last season where he looked really good.
He was just dominant. A lot of times last year, and I think even the year before that, Josh Allen was looked at as he was going to be one of the best quarterbacks
in the league.
Yeah, and this year he hasn't shown that.
He hasn't shown that top 5 quarterback play that we were. 5. Yeah, I could think of a couple quarterbacks that I think are playing better than him right now. But we'll see how the season continues. On the other hand, though, I do think this Colts team is going to make a playoff push here.
They are.
And once they get in the playoffs,
it might be
it's dangerous.
Scary.
It's dangerous. See, teams like that, their record is they're obviously better than the record shows. None of that matters when you're in the dance.
Nope.
At that point, it's just game after game. Doesn't matter what record. No. And if the Colts are in the playoffs, they're dangerous. All right, moving on to the next one. This is another surprise. The Texans win in the Tennessee and beat them 22-13. You would have thought Deshaun Watson was back in Houston.
Nope.
Tyrod Taylor.
See, I was already saying that I was scared for the Titans because they didn't have Derrick Henry, and I felt like their offense was going to struggle. Now, obviously, their defense has stepped it up a little bit, but the Texans scoring 22 is not that impressive because the Texans have nobodies, and on top of that, Ryan Tannehill, as you pointed out. How did he play this game?
323 yards passing, which
that's a good game.
That's good. And then he had a touchdown.
Oh, one?
Just one, but hey, that's good, right?
Man, Derrick Henry. Oh, no, he's not playing.
He's not playing, huh? So because of that, he threw more. What happens when he threw more? He threw 4 interceptions.
4?
4.
Dang, that's a lot of interceptions.
That's a lot of interceptions. 2 within the fourth quarter. Yep.
And they lost by 9 points. All right. Well, that's it for the Titans, you guys. We'll see you guys next year. And thank you for tuning in to the Heavily Contested Podcast.
You're ready to take the Titans out?
I'm ready to take them out. Thank you, guys. I appreciate everything you did this year. A.J. Brown, you have shown me nothing.
Yeah, he's disappointed me this year.
You had one cute game. Why is A.J. Brown the third receiving? He's third in receiving for his team in this game. Third. Who? By who? Reynolds? Who? I don't even know the names of the receivers. I don't even know the names.
Nick Westbrook Ikini.
Okay. And yeah, that's my point exactly. Julio Jones, he's
just injured. He's just always injured.
His career is pretty much over. I'm ready to say that as well too.
Yeah, I'm sad to say that.
But the Titans, I'm ready to say they have a great record.
So you don't even think when Derrick Henry comes back and if they're still at the 1 seed.
They're still at the 1 seed, but they're gonna drop. They're gonna lose a lot of games. So if Derrick Henry comes back, because I'm not 100% sure he can, but I think he's still gonna be a little rusty. So I don't see nothing this year.
I don't know. I feel like this is here's one crazy thing about Tennessee that I saw too. They're 8-3 right now, correct?
Yes.
2 of their losses are to the Jets and to the Texans. And they lost to the Cardinals at the beginning of the season, but that's week 1. A lot's changed since week 1. But let's just say, since the Tennessee Titans have kind of found rhythm and got red hot, they only lost to 2 teams. And the two worst teams in the NFL. It's weird. But for me, I see that and I'm not scared. I think it really is teams have off weeks. You know what I mean? I saw it this week. The defense, the pass rush that was so prominent against the Rams wasn't there. You know, kind of that elite defensive play that we were seeing from Tennessee, kind of right here in the middle half of the season, that was non-existent. Tannehill obviously having to be over-relied on the passing game. Now, that's my biggest concern. I think the defense will try to get back in shape a little bit this next game. It's a tough one, though. But I'm very concerned for Tannehill in that offense right now. If they can't get a running game going, and it's going to all hinge on Tannehill, especially without all of his weapons.
They don't want to pass the ball. Ryan Tannehill's not that good.
No, he's built off of the play action.
Yeah, he's not good enough to just be a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen.
To be the first option for the offense.
He don't want to throw for 400 yards. You don't want him to do that.
No. So that's my biggest concern. I guess I'll give my prediction on how they look this upcoming week, but I'm concerned a little bit for the offense, but I do think if this team comes into the playoffs healthy, they could still. I'm not ready to just completely give up on them yet. For me,
personally. I mean, a healthy Julio Jones, they definitely gonna win.
And a healthy Julio and a healthy Henry, if they come back,
Julio,
it could be scary.
Just sit out until Derrick Henry get back, and you both come back at the same time.
Yeah, they were still good enough to get those wins to get them inside the playoffs, especially in the South.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
They're gonna win. They're
gonna make the playoffs.
They're gonna win the division.
There's no way that they win the Super Bowl. I'm going to say that right now.
I don't know. Not ready to roll them out yet. Next one. This arguably was game of the week until we had another one.
Yeah.
But this was a heck of a game. In Minnesota, the Packers versus the Vikings. A classic rivalry here. The Vikings playing to get back to 500 after their rough start to the season.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers looking to get back on a win streak here.
Yeah, and then your man stepped up. What's his name on the Vikings?
Oh, Kirk. Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
Put on the hat, sailed the ship.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Jefferson's helping him out a lot.
Oh, Jefferson's now had a couple good games now, too.
He's helping him
out
a lot because Justin Jefferson now is 100% wide receiver 1.
Oh, yes.
He's 100% wide receiver 1.
Yes. And he's, man, dare I say it, he's a top 5 receiver in this league right now. Yeah. Going through it. Well, because here's the one thing. Right now, how they're playing. Would you say right now that Justin Jefferson is playing better than Stephon Diggs?
Yes.
I had Stephon Diggs in my top 5.
Yes.
I'm obviously...
I think, honestly, this season he's been better than DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, and Hopkins hasn't been playing a lot, so I don't know how to say about that too much. But even when Hopkins was in, I don't think Hopkins had a 100-yard receiving game yet this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad team.
You know, actually, like, the top 5 in receiving yards is honestly the people who I'd call the top 5 receivers in the NFL. Tyreek, Debo, Justin, Devontae, and Cooper Kupp.
Hey, those are the people that played this year.
And those are the people that are stepping up this year. You know, we don't have too many other guys. You know, Keenan Allen's actually very underrated. I'd argue Keenan Allen could make a push in there. But
Mike Williams was taking a lot at the beginning of the year.
Definitely. And now Keenan Allen's taking that spot back. But we're getting off point here. What a game. 34-31.
Man. Aaron Rodgers, I still think he still played a good game. He was still being
still played more than a good game. 385 yards passing and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers still had a good game. I think the biggest issue is the Packers defense. I think that's the only issue that they really have.
And even then, I'm not so worried because here's the thing. They're missing 2 of probably their best defensive players in Zadarius Smith, which is huge for the pass rush, and Jair Alexander, their best corner.
Who's one of the best corners in the league.
Who's, arguably top 2.
He's top 3, 100%.
Top 3.
2.
I'd say top 2. I'd say he's right behind Jalen Ramsey when healthy. But, so now you have a rookie in Eric Stokes, who he's shown promise, but in the end, he's going against these top receivers in the league.
Yeah.
And as a rookie, you're going to get thrown into the fire there, going up against everyone's number 1 receiver. So, when Jair gets healthy, I do think this Packers passing defense, which has been probably its biggest weakness so far, will definitely step up.
Yeah.
Because then you also allow Kevin King to finally sit out.
Don't even get me started on Kevin King. I really think he should already be out the NFL by now. But we'll leave him for now.
We'll leave him for now. Either way, to another receiver, Marquez Valdez-Scantling for the Packers.
Hey.
123 yards receiving and a touchdown. A big one that helped give the Packers, that helped tie the game. It was an eventful game.
That was like a 60-yard touchdown.
Oh, yeah. One play touchdown, too. The Vikings drove down the field, made all this. And the Packers almost had an interception on Kirk Cousins, but the corner dropped it in the end, which was big. That could have changed the game.
That's where you play corner. Stupid jokes.
He's getting a little butthurt here.
Stupid jokes.
But either way, I think the Vikings, man, are right set in playoff contention again. Actually, they are. My apologies. They're right there.
I thought you were going to say something a little too bold.
What were you thinking?
I thought you were going to say something like, I think the Vikings are going to make a strong push in the playoffs. No, they're not.
I'm just going to say this before. Like the Colts, the Vikings have lost games that you could say they shouldn't have, correct? They missed the field goal against the Cardinals. You know, they had a lead against the Ravens, a 2-touchdown lead against the Ravens, and they blew that lead.
Yeah.
This is a team that's, lost games that they shouldn't have,
Yeah.
Right? So, that being said, I think this Vikings team can be dangerous in the playoffs because we've seen how good they play. And if it comes to playoff time and let's say they actually do start executing like they are right now, they've now just beaten the Chargers and the Packers.
I'm still, to this day, I will always be a Kirk Cousins non-believer.
See, okay.
Yeah, I will always be a Kirk Cousins non-believer. So when it gets to the playoffs, that's when things get a little shaky.
Kirk Cousins, 21 touchdowns, 2 interceptions so far this season.
Hey, it's going a little under the radar. People haven't been peeping that.
People have just been hating.
Yeah, people have just been hating. Now I'm one of those people. I think that Kirk Cousins is a product of his star receivers. That's what I'm saying.
And definitely
he's always had star receivers. Always.
The one thing I got to argue against other people though is he's not the one to lose you games. You know, and he makes plays that actually great plays. You know what I admire about Kirk Cousins the most is he's a guy who can he's willing to sit in the pocket and take a big hit to get the throw off. So I think Kirk Cousins deserves his credit. And now the Vikings have a big game coming up this week right here against another team that's marched right back into playoff contention. So this is going to be a big one here. I mean, you tell me. You look at the seeding and you tell me. Yeah.
You guys know who he's talking about.
Yeah. We'll get to it soon. But the Vikings sit at the 6th seed, and I do think they're a little dangerous. For the Packers, I'm not too concerned with this.
I'm not too concerned at all. They're still 8-3. So, I mean.
Yeah, they're 8-3, and once they get fully healthy again, I do think that defense is still going to be dangerous. Now, let's go to the next one. Speaking of the team that snuck right back off into playoff contention, the 49ers have now won 2 straight, probably their 2 best games of the season in a row, when they beat the Rams, and now they beat the Jaguars. The 49ers now have snuck their way to being right outside at the 8th seed, right behind the Saints at the 7th seed. The Saints now, who have lost multiple games in a row, after being 5-2, have now broke even at 5-5. So the Niners are the team that's red hot and pushing for playoff contention. Do you want to say anything or no?
Honestly, the Jaguars are the Jaguars. They've been historically terrible, and as we've said earlier, they are a young team. They're a young franchise, but and it's also a young team. Trevor Lawrence and who?
What do you mean?
Trevor Lawrence and
James Robinson. So that he was 1,000-yard back last year.
Yeah. The Jaguars are not.
Though they have a lot of things to work on.
Yeah, they're missing everything. Yeah. Pretty much, because even quarterback is still a little sus right now.
Yeah, but he's on a bad team right now.
But I will say, the 49ers have been playing good. Jimmy G has not been trash. You know, he's been stepping up a little bit. George Kittle has been utilized a little more. Yeah. Brandon Ayuk has been utilized a little more. Finally. Debo is still good.
Debo's Debo. They put Debo at the running back position, and he rushed for 79 yards.
What I really like that you guys do now is you just give Debo the ball.
It's just
he might just be quarterback, wildcat.
That's what we wanted, though. We wanted Shanahan, put the ball in your best players' hands and let them go to work. We have 3 of the best run after catch.
Yep.
You know, some of the best run after catch receivers in the league. With George Kittle, run after catch tight end. Debo Samuel, who's great with the ball in his hands, and then Brandon Ayuk as well. My concern still is they didn't show it this week, but I'm not going to be fully ready to just say that problem's over, is the trust in the pass game and taking risks on 3rd down, on 2nd down, being a little unpredictable. We showed that we could be unpredictable this game. Do we keep it going? I don't know. We have a big game coming up this week, and that's going to be a big show on how this thing looks. Because either way, it's still Jacksonville. So I'm not trying to get myself too hyped up here. But having beat the Rams and how they looked against Jacksonville, I definitely think the Niners are looking much better and kind of looking like the team that they should have been all season.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Big game this week. Big game. Let's start with... Actually, you want to just go away with it, bro? It's your team. Bengals beat the Raiders.
The Las Vegas Raiders. What was the score at the end of the game, bro? I turned it off after.
It was 32-13.
32-13.
Joe Mixon.
Now, guys.
123 yards rushing. 2 touchdowns. Joe Burrow. 1 touchdown.
Anybody else?
Jamar Chase received that touchdown. Oh, T. Higgins also had 49 yards receiving.
Anyways, guys, so you will look at the score and be like, oh, man, the Bengals offense was torching you guys.
Derek Carr had an interception.
Yeah, let's be honest. Anybody else watching the game, you will completely know that the defense was playing amazing. They were playing great. The reason why we lost this game?
It's the offense.
Derek Carr. How do you score 13 points in the NFL? We can't score that many points and expect to win. Now, The biggest issue that I think there is, for one, Derek Carr just be scared whenever he gets hit one time. Like, ow, and he don't want to get hit anymore. So that's a big issue. On top of that, we don't use Marcus Mariota. There's a lot of times that we get into the red zone and we settle for 3. We get fumbles. We had a strip fumble. We're right on the 8-yard line. We kicked 3 points. And now the Bengals, they kick a field goal all the way from the 45, but we're tied. So it's a big difference if you don't get that touchdown when you're in the red zone. So Marcus Mariota better be used in that red zone because I'm tired of Derek Carr and his owies, and he's just scared to run the ball and all that. Now, on the other side, the defense, man, I'm very impressed with the defense. They held the Bengals offense the entire game until the fourth quarter, where the Raiders defense was on the field for almost 40 minutes. Out of a 60-minute game, they were on the field for almost 40 minutes. So, especially in the fourth quarter, they got really tired. And that's when the Bengals scored 19 points.
Felt like I was watching a Niner game, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like Niners from the beginning of the season.
They scored all their points in the fourth quarter, and Derek Carr is like, oh, put the blame on me, guys. It's all my fault. Then step it up then, Derek. Because every other year...
if you ask, we shall. Yeah,
man.
We'll put the blame on you then. Go ahead. Thanks for offering. I appreciate it.
Derek Carr has had bad defenses his entire career.
Yeah.
The first year that he has a good defense, not a good maybe, he could be called a good defense, but he has a solid defense.
Yeah, I was about to say solid.
All you need to do is score 25 points, 24 points.
Yep.
We win games. But no, you want to struggle, you want to be scared, throw check downs. He's looking like the check down guy again, and that's what I don't like.
I'm just going to say, for me, I don't want to put it all on Derek Carr. I want to say, too, it's also, I feel like it's just collective. It's just all these things that were happening off the field that are kind of like stacking up with the team's morale. And obviously the missing players. So Henry Ruggs, who was a big, deep threat and could help stretch that offense, is gone. Deshaun Jackson is not the same as Henry Ruggs was at this point in time. Correct?
Not at all.
Josh Jacobs gets injured almost every other game. He's very injury prone.
We can't use him that much because he will get injured.
He's not a high maintenance back, which is low key what you need from him.
Yeah. And our offensive line has a lot of struggles.
Yeah, and you traded away a lot of assets at the beginning of the season. And then also, of course, you got to mention John Gruden's not there. So obviously you lost a coach, and maybe they don't run the system the same way Gruden did.
He was the play caller.
Right? And then you have Damon Arnett, who was a corner.
Gone. Yeah.
And it's not even like he was a big asset.
But we could use him right now because we have Trayvon Mullen, who's injured.
And it's just with the morale, it's just like, damn, another one.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of gets to the team's head. So that's what I'm seeing. And it sucks because you guys had a good season rolling. And it's these off-field issues that might be the downfall of this team.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm still confident in my team because I've seen what Derek Carr can do. Mm-hmm. But if he wants to act scary and he wants to cry, we're going to lose games. I would definitely love for us to go get a quarterback in the offseason if we don't get Devontae Adams.
All right.
If we get Devontae Adams, go ahead, Derek Carr, do your thing, man.
Well, let's see what happens with that one. That's banking on a lot, though.
Yeah.
Next one. The Chiefs are red hot, man. The Chiefs have won 3 in a row.
Man, this was a good game, too.
Was a good game. The Chiefs won 19-9. Now, the offense for Kansas City was not the story of this game. It was the defense who was able to get 5 sacks on Dallas, led by Chris Jones, Melvin Ingram, and then you got Frank Clark.
Man,
that D-line has turned into a bit of a force.
They are a little scary. I think the biggest thing that I got to say is sometimes the Cowboys, obviously they didn't have Amari Cooper.
And they didn't have CeeDee Lamb for pretty much the other half of the game.
Yeah, but sometimes they just really don't show up.
No, it's just flat.
Flat. I don't understand.
It was at a point, too, remember when they showed up flat against Denver? We were calling them the best team in the league because they looked the most balanced offensively and defensively. They looked great. Now, the defense actually played their tails off.
They were still good.
Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons played a great game.
Didn't he have 3 sacks in this game?
2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and he even forced a fumble that wasn't recovered by the Chiefs. That was recovered by the Chiefs, but still, big play.
Now he has 10 sacks on the season, I believe.
And he does this all
as a middle linebacker, technically.
He could be put all over the place. So he's looking great.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that I have to say with the Cowboys is they have a great offensive line. They literally have a top 3 offensive line, right? So why does Zeke and Tony Pollard struggle? I don't understand. I don't completely understand it. When you don't have receivers, yes, Zeke should be taking over this
Definitely.
game.
I have to say, though, it definitely looked like the Chiefs game planned to beat the Cowboys up front.
Yeah.
With that. They're going to take down that run game. They're going to pin their ears back on plays and then just be able to say, hey, we're going to go right after Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
You know? They just prepared better than this team. And that's also probably the biggest weakness of this Cowboys team. The coaching. In the end, as much as you could want to say it or, don't want to say it, Mike McCarthy is not a good coach.
Yeah. They're also led by Jason Garrett for a while, who just got fired by the Giants.
So, I don't think it's a great coaching staff, and I think it's the biggest weakness that's holding them back, and I think it showed this week as they looked very unprepared.
Yeah.
They looked very unprepared. Now, let's see. They're playing the Raiders, actually, this week.
Oh, Thanksgiving game.
But they're not going to be fully healthy either. Mari Cooper had COVID, which is why he was out, but he's also unvaccinated, so he'll be out 10 days, which means 2 games. And then for CeeDee Lamb, who knows if he can recover from a concussion in 3 days.
Yeah.
So
I think the biggest takeaway from this game is that the Chiefs were dancing, laughing, and looking as happy as could be on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
That scares me. Yeah. Because I would think that
their confidence.
I would think that the Chiefs were gonna be irritated, like, oh, we've been losing too many games. They don't care.
Nah. They look right back in sync. They look confident. They look ready to make another run, which is scary because every team gave Kansas City enough time to just mount right back up, and they're 1 game away from that 1 seed.
And I will say this because this helps me out a little bit. Them beating the Cowboys makes us not look that bad anymore. So thank you, Cowboys.
Yeah, and Kansas City. It's what's scary for me is if their defense plays at that level every week. I don't think it will, but if it does, then that's scary. But we'll see. Game of the week now. Remember, we said Vikings-Packers had a potential to be game of the week, but this is obviously most clearly the game of the week.
Yeah, because this game had influences on offense, defense, and special teams. And anytime special teams
big time
affects the game, I think those are great.
And
games.
had playoff implications as well when it comes to seeding. So the Chargers hosted the Steelers Sunday night in Los Angeles, and they won 41-37. This is 2 games now where the Chargers have had shootouts and won both of them.
Yeah. I also have to say this. Why did the Steelers almost come back?
So it was going to go to my point that I was going to say, which is this Chargers defense is not as good as it was those first 4 weeks.
I was
not as good as we hyped it up to be. Brandon Staley has some things to figure out with this Chargers defense because now they allowed 27 last game. They allowed 24. They allowed 27, 34, 42.
Yeah,
ever since the Chargers...
They're allowing way too many points.
Ever since that Chargers red-hot start defensively in Week 4, they have allowed always more than 20 points. And then that takes a toll. So then you have Justin Herbert who can bail you out some games, but then some games he can't.
Yeah. Oh, he did come through at the end.
Oh.
He finished that game.
It's Justin Herbert. In the end, it's Justin Herbert.
One thing I do got to say, I'm just going to say this. This sounds weird to say, but Austin Eckler might be the best player I've ever seen that has no drip at all. I mean, if you look at Austin Eckler, he just looks like a bowling ball just running around. He looks like a JV player.
What constitutes no drip, though?
He just looks like a JV player. And he's running around breaking ankles, dragging people on his back.
Strong.
And he had 4 touchdowns this game.
4 touchdowns. He's just a touchdown machine. Also to note, Justin Herbert had 90 yards rushing this game.
Whoa.
Bit of mobility from Justin Herbert. 3 passing touchdowns as well, including the game winner. On the other hand, the Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger brought back a bit of youth there with 3 passing touchdowns this game.
He did. I still don't think he's it, though.
Mm-hmm.
I see him, a lot of times, he makes a good decision, but it don't look like he could throw the ball at all. I feel like he struggles to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Like,
no, you could still see it.
Like, his receivers are the ones making the plays. Like, Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this more on the Chargers defense because a lot of those plays, I just saw guys wide open. Like, it was just broken coverage. This Chargers defense has some things to figure out if they truly want to be considered contenders.
Yeah.
Because this offense is ready to win.
Yeah. I like the energy that both teams came out with, though. That's what makes a great game.
Yes.
And I honestly feel like at the same time, though, the Steelers,